Well, welcome everyone to this week's Menlo Midweek podcast. My name is Mark. We have Alisha with us. And for the first time, Troy is here.
Hey, how you
Troy
doing?
Patterson Jr.
Yep, Junior, man.
And
yeah.
I'm super excited today because one, it's his first day on the podcast, and two, we just figured out that he loves fishing too, and fishing's like my thing, so I'm trying to like hold it in.
I'm outnumbered now.
You're outnumbered, Alisha, but we'll still take you.
Oh,
The next
Lord.
podcast we do together, we'll do on a lake.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down for the lake.
That'll be fun. Well, Troy, let us know a little bit about what you're doing now at Menlo, where you came from, and then we'll jump in from there.
Okay, yeah, man. I am associate campus pastor at Menlo Mountain View. And I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
And so, I've been in the Bay Area about 2.5 years. So I'm learning the Bay way, I guess, as my wife says. And so, man, it's been a journey. It's a beautiful place. And I'm just learning day by day, just getting used to the whole culture and the vibe, which I really love.
What has surprised you about the Bay Area?
You know what, man? I think, not just the Bay, but California has always been like a place that existed on TV for me. And I thought everybody was running in slow motion on the beach all the time. That's it.
I mean, they're not.
Not around
Not
here.
in Northern
Wrong beach.
California.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
so
just
I think God is pretty funny, and I saw, it's a really busy place.
Yeah.
And on TV they make it seem so like extra laid back, and it's like it's that, but it's also like people are trying to make a living and hustling. So, I think that was the biggest surprise for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And Alisha, you're originally from North Carolina?
Yep. So
Country
we're
cousin. That's my
Country cousins. We're neighbors.
CC. It's my nickname for her. CC. Yep.
What has surprised you about the Bay?
Oh gosh,
You've been here for how many years?
10 years.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I'm
okay.
sure that you've kind of morphed into
Oh
California.
yeah, I'm
But
fully
when you first
converted.
got here,
It took a long time. I hated it when I first came here.
Actually?
Yeah.
I literally did
Okay.
because I was from such a tiny town that I was like, I'd really never even seen traffic before.
Wow.
And so coming here was like,
okay.
the thing that is most clear in my memory was that I was going through the grocery store and someone cut me off with their shopping cart in the grocery store.
Wow.
And I was just appalled.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah.
But now I love it. I go home and my sister's like, "You drive like a jerk. What's wrong with you?"
Oh,
Funny.
wow.
Hey.
That's real.
Interesting.
That's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even think there's differences between where I grew up in California, which is in Southern California,
Okay.
suburbs, gridded streets,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
much slower pace than up here. People always ask like if I like up here better or down, like where do I want to end up eventually? And I think the area up here is much cooler. Like you can
Yeah.
get to the beach, you can go to
Yeah.
the redwoods, you can
Yeah.
go to
Yeah.
Tahoe in 3 hours. Like
Yep.
the amount of nature and beautiful things and fishing that's around
Come
here,
on,
pretty
come on.
great.
Yeah.
But like culturally, I feel like I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, I don't know if anyone in my like hometown area are like, I'm working for some place that's going to change the world today. And like that's the culture that we live in
Yeah.
up here, where like
Yeah.
everyone is like,
Yep.
I'm going to change the world today by doing this.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I feel like that perspective is just like I need to hold on to like I'm not like I don't fail if I don't change the world today.
Yeah, that's true.
That's so fair.
It's gonna be all right.
fair.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be okay.
It's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yes, there's a lot of, like this series that we just wrapped up this past weekend brought a lot of self-reflective questions for me. And as we were circling around doubt and purpose, my initial reaction went to like, what do I place my faith in? Sometimes in a way, I do feel like that's a little bit of careerism and safety that
Yeah.
comes along with that.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
if I'm not changing the world, then I have doubts. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, what's happening there? So Phil closed out with our message from this past Sunday by leading us through what it means to kind of keep the faith when things get hard in times of doubt. And so I'm curious for y'all, what stuck out from you from the message? Alisha, can you go first?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think just this message, yes, but over the entire series, I've just really loved facing the reality of doubt head on. I found it really refreshing. I feel like we don't talk about that enough,
Yeah.
but it's such a common and normal thing.
Yep.
But the I feel like he kind of took the elements that he talked about and gave it a little bit more of like a hard, like practical piece
Yes.
this week with like tying it into obedience. And I'm very much like a practical person. So I loved having a little bit of that, like, this is great application. Like I can directly apply this
Yeah,
to the inevitable doubts that I think we all
definitely.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely a piece where it was, almost like a chicken and the egg kind of thing. Where
Yep.
you're like, I have
Yep.
doubt, so I won't act. But if I act, that might be in faith. And so like it's almost like the
Totally.
whole thing needs
Yeah.
to get in motion in order to solve
Yep.
itself. Which I was like, oh,
Yep.
that's a really interesting way to put it.
Totally.
For
Troy, what
sure.
about for you?
Man, I would say just first of all, this series was right on time. I think just being new and learning just my way, and so it really touched me in a lot of ways. But I think when it comes down to like, I believe, but help my unbelief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me that has been something in this series that I find myself telling myself more and more. In just certain areas where I'm like, okay, Lord, like this is overwhelming, but you're gonna see me through this, right? And so there are a lot of people I feel like across Menlo that really just encouraged to just keep going. And so that was probably my favorite series so far in these 3 months I've been here. Yeah.
In the one series you've been in so far, that's your favorite one.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah, yeah, that's
than
the
the
only
other
one.
one, no.
Yeah, I think it is the only one. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I also love just kind of the idea of having a firm foundation
Yeah.
in God, and
Yep.
how I love that we normalize belief in this series.
Yeah.
Because I think that
Yep.
growing up, there were some times where I would feel personally like if I have disbelief in faith, then something's wrong with me. Something's
Right.
broken with my relationship
Yeah.
with God, and therefore, I don't know, insert any kind of weird, I'm not worthy, I'm not
Right,
loved
right.
anymore, God is disappointed in me, like all of that kind of stuff there.
Yeah.
And so the foundation of saying, belief or disbelief is part of the Christian experience.
Yes.
And recognizing that, holding on to that, and say, oh, there are people in the Bible, of course, that had disbelief at times, and they
Yep.
even saw him.
Right.
So
Literally.
like, I can give myself a little grace.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. True.
And so as we're trying to build in a deeper foundation in our community of what it means to, have a connected relationship with Jesus as we're trying to become more formed like him, what are some ways, maybe personally, or some encouragements that you could give that would look like building into your foundation? So for me, I've been trying to read the Bible consistently. I used to have some pretty good time in the morning for that, but with having a now 8-month-old, sometimes I get that. Sometimes he'll be a little angel and
That's
sleep
fair.
until 7:30 in the morning.
Yep.
Other times he'll lose sibling privileges and wake up at 6 o'clock or 5:45 ready to go, which is normally the time I'd wake up and have some time with God. So
Yeah.
trying to work in different rhythms for me to keep that foundation solid. So that's one way that I'd love to encourage people too, is even if it's just a couple minutes,
Yeah.
just having a reminder of a verse throughout the day or a prayer throughout the day, or at certain times on the clock, maybe just pray if you can't get a good 15 minutes or whatever you need with God in the morning.
Yep.
So that's something that I've been working on this season. Troy, how
Yeah.
about for you?
Man, honestly, I think the same. I think
Okay.
learning new rhythms. I would say giving yourself grace for it to not always look the same way every morning or every day.
Yes.
I think I'm very much I get up at like 5, and sometimes my wife works early. She's a nurse, so but sometimes hey, I'm up and I'm like, okay, I'm at it. But then other times I'm like thinking about everything I need to do, and I might fall off and miss like that hour. But then I'll just say, you know what, like tonight I'll get in my prayer journal and I'll get in my Bible study, right? So it still happens. It may not always look the same, and being okay with pivoting when necessary. Yeah, and knowing that I'm still pursuing Jesus, but it's life be lifing, sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I think that's wise. I think there is some, like, my mind is so rigid at times where I feel like if I miss the moment that I had earmarked on my calendar for that, then I might as well not even do it for the rest of the day.
Right.
And I don't know why I think that way. It's dumb even saying that out loud.
it's a
But I
human
get
thing,
it.
though.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, a big piece of like building that foundation is like regular community and like having people
Yeah.
who remind you of what's true and who you can share like, doubts or questions with.
Yes.
I think especially in the category of struggling with doubt, if we let it just live alone in our head, it can like spiral and get a lot more intense than it maybe actually is. Sometimes just like saying, hey, I'm struggling to believe this out loud to someone who can remind you of what's true can deal with that really quickly. So surrounding yourself with a regular community that you can be really honest with.
What does community mean?
That's a great question. People who are trustworthy, who are invested in you and you're invested in them. I think that's probably the most concise way I would say it.
Yeah. I think that, there's an aspect to community where it can look like a lot of different versions.
Yes,
Like
that's so true.
there's a community that I have that will probably never call me on my stuff, and then there's the
That's
true
fair.
community that I
Yeah.
have that'll be like, no,
Yeah.
like you need to be doing this because it's
Yeah.
good for you.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
your core people who can, call you out,
Mm-hmm.
who, you'll say something and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
There's another line that I've been chewing on in Phil's message, and it was something along the lines of like, we've been educated past our obedience.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
for
That was deep.
A Presbyterian church,
Called out.
it's not not a shocker. I don't know where I kind of fit in denominationally. I'm kind of like a free agent where I grew up Free Methodist and then went non-denom for a while and then got adopted into Presbyterianism, which I'm like, okay, I kind of vibe here.
Yeah.
And so, but for me, it's like, yeah, there's definitely ways in which like I can get sucked into the knowledge aspect of I know that I shouldn't feel disbelief because I've read it and I've seen God do it in stories. I've seen God do it in my life.
Yeah.
But it only goes that far. And then I'll beat myself up because I should know better that I shouldn't feel
Right.
bad about this. And then I just get into a cycle. And
Totally.
then brings the, the anxiousness that comes with that.
Yeah.
And I think returning to that strong foundation for me has always been helpful when I start to spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about for you guys? Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I think for me, when it comes to like faith and just like my belief and just all that, and when I do have doubts, I've always seen it as like more so God kind of winking at me and reminding me like I'm actually at the mercy of Him, and He is big enough to hold the weight of my doubts. And so that's I kind of see doubts as a reminder of like, yeah, God is actually in control and I'm at His mercy. And so that's how it should be. And so instead of doubts, making me feel like, oh, I'm not the best, believer right now because I'm a little worried or whatever. More so, it just reminds me where my help comes from, and it is from the Lord. And so that's how I try not to beat myself up when I find myself having doubts, even though I still have them at times and stuff.
sure.
But I try to keep it that way, to keep it level set, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of similarly, my dad always said, like, God's not afraid of your questions.
Yep.
So good.
And he would say, keep asking questions, and if you're honest with yourself about the answers, you will get to the truth.
Yes.
And so, just kind of keeping that in mind. And Phil, I think he was saying it about something else, but it kind of applied to this as well on Sunday.
Yeah.
He said something about, like, God's not nervous. Like,
Yeah,
God's not
facts.
anxious.
Yeah.
And I think the same applies with our doubt. He's not like, oh, no,
Yeah.
they're doubting. You know what I mean?
For sure.
He's at peace. He's fine. And so kind of just, like, returning to that and the security and safety and knowing that, like, he's good. He's not scared of my questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Sure.
I'm sure that as you all have been in ministry for a while, there's definitely been conversations where people have had doubts and people have shared very honest things that honestly, yes, doubt should be the response to some of these things.
Yeah.
What in your ways or what in your experience has helped in those conversations? So if someone going out this week was to ask someone how they're really doing, and if that person said, I'm scared about these things and I don't know what's happening about the future, what are some ways that you could encourage that conversation to go well and for us to be able to bring, this idea of having a strong foundation into someone's life that might not even have that foundation in Christ, but still be able to find the hope that Jesus brings?
That's a great question. Trying not to like fall too far into the the intellectual thing, but I think something that can be helpful is to return to what you do know. What do I know is true? Because I think doubt can be like a voice that's throwing a lot of things at you, and I think we should like speak back to it with like what things do I know are true. And those things don't always feel true, and I think that's probably what. I don't know, at least for me, it can get me into like a spirally place. And so returning to what you know is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember some conversations with people, and even if they didn't really believe the same things about God that I believed. Just hearing that there was a version of their story that could play out in a hopeful way was really just something that inspired them to take a positive step, whether that's, whatever that was for them. And I think the posture in which we learn and listen is great in those conversations. And I think, listening well and asking good questions. And not trying to lead in, I got this. I read this.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
I know the answer.
Yeah. Kind of just creating space for the questions, and I think reminding people again that it's okay to have them.
Yeah. Troy, what do you think?
Well, my mom used to always tell me that. She said, work on having enough faith that you can lend out to some people at times.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah. And so, there are moments usually I find myself when I'm having that kind of conversation with somebody, usually it's those moments where like I'm feeling strong in my faith. And so I practice, and I think in just devotional time or whatever, I try to practice building that and to just have just a little piece to break off to give someone else some hope or some faith there. Yeah. And I think when people see you being convinced in what God can do for them, even if they don't feel it, it might not take them to next week, but just maybe the next hour, the next day. Yeah. And so always being able to break off a piece of faith for someone else, having enough at least that you can share it.
I love that.
My mom taught me that a long time ago, and I think people have done that for me, and I try to do that for other people too.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. I've been thinking about that for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to meet your mom too. She
yeah,
sounds
honestly.
awesome.
Man, listen, bro. She got all these sayings, bro. I don't understand all of them, but
I think that's a Southern thing.
for sure.
Like,
it's some. I tell you some quotes. It's like, what does that mean? Yeah, it's crazy. I love you, mom, but
That's funny.
for sure.
And then speaking of like breaking off faith and stepping out of faith, for the first time we had baptisms. Yeah. Or not for the first time ever, but like it was someone's first time being baptized across all of our campuses. We had over 25 across all 5 or 4 of our campuses. Yes. And so what was that like for you? It was your first baptism with us, right?
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, man, that was amazing. I loved the other kids coming in and seeing their buddies get baptized. And it's just something about seeing someone at your stage of life be brave and just proclaim what they believe. And that says so much, whether people tell you it says a lot to them or not. And I just saw the kids really excited and seeing everybody just celebrating in that way. I just loved that moment. Yeah, I did. It was dope. It was dope.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You told me you're sad you couldn't be in the water with them.
Well, I can't swim, so I'm okay.
it was better. I was safer.
Yeah, I was looking how deep. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Why does it have a life jacket on? It's crazy.
For real. Hairnet, all of it. Like,
That's so funny.
legit. Yeah.
Alisha, how was it at Saratoga?
It was good.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I love about baptisms, I feel like it's like the loudest that we ever get in that room.
Okay.
Because we're all like celebrating together.
For sure.
And it's so exciting. I always get emotional.
Me too.
Yeah.
We had a few non-planned or spontaneous baptisms at Menlo Park. And so that was always like, it's fun because part of my job on Sunday is making sure that things happen at Menlo Park and the campuses are all good on their ends. And so I was in the back of the room at Menlo Park working with the team there where people would, respond to their an invitation of, hey, if today's your day, head to the back of the room and talk with somebody. And just seeing the excitement and the nervousness and the jitters of like, it's my day. I think it's my day. And then walking them over and seeing them get baptized. And then they didn't prepare. So some of them just went in the closet they had and then changed. It was awesome. It was such a fun day. And really just a way for us to, like, when we see other people stepping out in faith, it does something to my unbelief.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah. And so for me, celebrating other people as they're taking steps of faith, whether that is something as big as baptism or someone just holding on to that next little nugget, that's always inspirational for me. And for some reason, I feel like that kind of builds into the foundation that I have to strengthen my own faith. And so there's a community aspect to that. And there's also like a personal, like, man, I love just being in that environment where I feel like God's moving and working. And that was crazy that it happened across all of our campuses.
Absolutely. So
yeah,
great.
super fun.
Amazing.
And speaking of things that are coming, we've got some events that are coming up at the end of the month. We have our Halloween events at each campus.
Yay.
Yeah.
So there's one that's happening for yours that with the city of Saratoga, or no?
It's not. It's for
Okay.
the city of Saratoga.
For the city
but-
of Saratoga. That's
yeah.
right. That's right. Okay, where is it? What's going
So
on?
it's at our Saratoga campus. It's on October 30th.
Yep.
So we're going to trick or treat on Halloween Eve and give
Awesome.
kids a chance to test out their costumes. So, yeah, it's going to be really fun.
so
I'm
fun.
excited. Last year, we got a lot of families. Most of the families that came were not part of the church.
Yeah.
And a lot of folks were like, oh, I've never been on this campus before. And so, hoping to just create an opportunity for them to feel more comfortable to come back again.
Cool. What's going on in Mountain View?
Man, we got Bootiful Halloween. I just don't
All the
wanna-
names are so
you
funny
got-
to me.
I don't want to mess that up. That could go.
Someone
left.
worked really hard on that.
Listen, bro, I was like, So anyway, October 31st.
Okay.
Veterans Plaza from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
We're gonna set up a tent and do like arts and crafts for children and
Oh,
different
cool.
things like that. And hopefully, obviously, if the kids are there, the parents are gonna be there. And so we just want to engage with them and just connect with people, have real conversations and invite them to Menlo.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Then we have the Halloween Hoopla that's
Yes.
happening at Menlo Park, where Menlo Park's teaming up with the city. That's on the 25th. We're shutting down downtown, or one of the main streets in downtown, and we're doing a joint with the city, closing and like kind of opening up our doors and opening up the park across the street for all of Menlo Park to come onto campus. So that was really fun last year. It's going to
it.
be crazy and big this year again, which should be fun. And so there's lots going on. And then this week, after you're hearing this, we're going to be kicking off a new series called Numb and Number,
Yes.
which I'm very excited about. And it's a book study, which we haven't done in a
Which
while.
I
So we're
love.
diving into Jonah, literally.
That's funny.
Yeah, the
That was
graphics
smooth.
all match there.
That was smooth.
So we're
yeah.
diving into the book of Jonah, looking at what it means to, in different seasons, like to actually keep the pursuit of Jesus, even when things get tough. And so, that will be really fun. Thanks so much for being on.
Yeah,
you guys are
thank
great.
you.
Thanks for having us. man.
If you need any prayer encouragement for this week, you can text our team at 650-600-0402. If you have questions for any of our guests, or if you have questions around any of the topics, or just need a little bit more encouragement, text that same number. We've got a team here waiting for you. Everyone, have a great week, and we'll see you soon. Bye.